Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. In this video, we're going to be loading a double 73 cal ball load in 3.5 inch 12 gauge nonetheless. Wade Rush sent me a couple molds. They're the same thing. It's a Marty's Arms 740 round ball, but for some reason these are dropping 730 right on the dot. Here's actually one of them right here. Tumbled, polished, looking all nice and fancy. Now, there is a lead ball weight calculator on the internet. If you punch in the diameter of the ball you have, it'll give you an exact weight for it. A 73 caliber round ball weighs 1.3 ounces, which is exactly what these weigh, 1.3 ounces. On my calipers right here, they're measuring 730. And nope, this mold is not treated with anything. They are whatever size that the machine cut them to be, which is 73 caliber, even though the mold says 74. These are useful in both 12 and 10 gauge. In 12 gauge, it sort of is a full bore slug in a way, but in 10 gauge, you can drop it right inside of an SP10 or a BP or PT 1044 wad. So it's a pretty useful buckshot size for the two larger bores, 12 and 10 gauge. In terms of lead payload weight, this one is 2.6 ounces, which is right at 2 5/8. 2 5/8 is 2.62, but this is 2.6, pretty much right there. We're going to be driving these to 1150 FPS using Hodgdon Little Gun. This is a 410 powder, also has a lot of uses in 28 gauge heavier loads. Really fast 3/4 ounce or 7/8 and 1 ounce loads at really good speed too. This stuff can drive a 1 ounce 28 gauge load at 1345 FPS. That is more stout than a lot of off-the-shelf 12 gauge stuff from, let's say, Winchester. I actually have a haul. Let me find one real quick, right here. This is a Winchester Super X hull. It's 1 ounce of lead shot at 1290. This stuff is capable of pushing a 1 ounce load out of a 28 gauge at 55 FPS more than the 12 gauge load. Maximum payload in 12 gauge with lead shot is 2 3/4 ounces, and this is more than capable of doing it. You can go to at least 3 ounces in 10 gauge at almost 1300 FPS. We chronoed one, a 3 ounce 10 gauge load at 1278. Still within safe pressure limits. So this powder is extremely versatile. It's useful in every single gauge, all 8 of them. 9 if you want to count 8 gauge. 8 gauge smokeless powder guns are very hard to find, but this stuff would work too. Anyway guys, what do you say we stop rambling and get on to loading this? Now, the maximum powder charge you can use for this load is 45 grains. I stick to 43 or 44 because I just don't like loading max powder charges with these big heavy loads most of the time. Sometimes I do, but not always. Anyway, we need 43 grains. 1 scoop of the Lee 2.2 CC Dipper drops 34 grains of Little Gun. Alright, we have our 43 grains. Now, for the wad, I'm using a Claybuster Federal 12S3 clone. All I've done to it is trim the pedals off with my pocket knife. That's all I've done to it. But before we put the wad in there, I have a piece of paper towel. It's roughly 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch, which is more than you need. You just need a 1x1. This is going to stop what's called powder migration. Sometimes, even though this wad is meant for straight wall holes, fine ball powders like Longshot HS6, HS7 if you have HS7, and Little Gun, Winchester Super Target, Winchester Super Field, Winchester AA Super Handicap, there's a bunch of them. Anyway, fine flake ball powders like that can leach up by the wad even if you use a straight wall wad in a straight wall hull. So that paper towel is going to prevent that from happening. The paper towel is a Wade Rush trick. A link to his channel will be in the description below, although I'm sure all of you guys watching this know who Wade is. Bubba Roundtree Outdoors on YouTube. He is where I've learned pretty much everything I know. You can also take a pair of needle nose pliers and pinch out the gas skirt, you know, the bottom of the wad. That'll also get you a much better seal inside here. But moving on, I'm using a Mylar wrap from Ballistic Products. This is the My Thin Mylar. All you gotta do is roll it up, just like this, and set it down inside your hull. I know you can't see it, but it is in there. Guys, these white hulls just do not show up well on camera. You crimp them, well, I crimp them and try to show it on camera, and you just can't see the crimps. Now, we need 2 .73 caliber round balls. Guys, this load is actually very simple. It's just powder, a target wad with the petals cut off, a Mylar wrap if you want to use a Mylar wrap, and 2 round balls. That's all it is. Super simple load. And as you can see, we still have plenty of room left to fold this. You can also roll it, but I like folding these because some slugs have a conical shape to them, like a Spitzer bullet in a way. Now, these round balls are, it's sort of a similar situation where only the center of the ball is contacting the hull walls. Now, I'm not sure if this happens with round balls, but it is a phenomenon with slugs. You shoot a roll crimped slug with a conical shape to it, and sometimes they won't open up the roll. They'll just drive right past it, which can increase chamber pressure and lead to accuracy inconsistencies. So I like going with a fold crimp on these. I'm going with a 6-point fold on the reload all, which is the back station. Here's what our pre-crimp looks like, and I told you, you can't see it on camera. White and clear hulls do not work so well. But we're ready for a final crimp. This one's gonna look good even though you guys won't be able to see it. Not bad at all. Trying to show you the best I can here. Just not gonna work out. I think you caught a glimpse of it there. Doing the best I can. There you go. That's much better. You can actually somewhat see it now. It is nice and deep set. Don't really care about that pinhole in the middle because this has no buffer in it. So, looks good to me. One last step I like to do with these is run it through this taper die. A little bit more. Not bad. You can't see it. But it is tapered. If you guys want one of these taper dies, go to eBay, look up Lee Lodahl Cone Crimp Die, and you'll find it. This will be a better example of the taper die. This is actually a 16 gauge, but see how it's, you know, just square on top? Well, check this out. Now, it is very nicely tapered. You guys just stick around a minute, and me and Josh will get to patterning these at the range. We'll be using both a smooth bore and a rifled barrel, not a rifled barrel, but a rifled choke tube. We don't have a 3.5 inch 12 gauge with a rifled barrel, but we do have a smooth bore single shot 3.5 inch H&R, and I have a rifled choke tube for it. Anyway guys, I guess that's going to do it for me. Please like and subscribe. We always appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below, and we will get back to you. If you want to, check out our Patreon. It's only $1 a month. You get early access to content. A link to that will be in the description below, along with a link to our Instagram and our Rumble accounts. But, other than that, you guys take it easy. We'll see you in the next one.